Trump freezes green card family visa processing today. Here's who's impacted. Breaking news coming out today that former President Donald Trump has announced a freeze on green card family visa processing, sending shockwaves through immigrant communities and families across the United States. This unexpected move is already causing widespread concern, confusion, and uncertainty for thousands of people who rely on family-sponsored immigration to reunite with loved ones. If you or someone you know is waiting on a family visa, this update is crucial, so let's break down exactly what this freeze means, who's impacted, and what steps you can take right now. First, let's understand what this freeze actually involves. Starting immediately, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, is halting the processing of certain family-based green card applications. This includes petitions for spouses, children, parents, and siblings of U.S. citizens and permanent residents. The freeze affects both new applications and those already in progress, which means thousands of families might face indefinite delays or even cancellations. Why is this happening? The Trump administration claims this freeze is part of a broader effort to tighten immigration controls, prioritize American workers, and reduce overall immigration levels. By slowing down family-based green cards, the government says it's aiming to reduce chain migration, a term used to describe how one immigrant's arrival can lead to more family members joining later. Critics argue that this freeze is cruel and unnecessary, pointing out that family reunification has long been a cornerstone of U.S. immigration policy. They warn this move will tear families apart, create backlogs that could take years to resolve, and further strain the emotional and financial well-being of immigrants who've waited patiently for years. So who is most impacted by this freeze? The biggest group affected are immigrants applying for green cards through close family relationships. For example, spouses of U.S. citizens who have been waiting months or years for approval could now face indefinite delays. Parents seeking to join their adult children in the U.S. and siblings who have filed petitions are also caught in the freeze. It's important to note that not all family-based visa categories are frozen. Immediate relatives, such as spouses and unmarried children under 21 of U.S. citizens, might still see some processing, but even these categories are likely to experience significant slowdowns. Other categories, like employment-based visas, remain unaffected for now but could face changes in the future. This freeze also has ripple effects on immigrant communities and the economy. Family-sponsored immigrants contribute significantly to the workforce, pay taxes, and support local businesses. Delays and uncertainties might discourage some from pursuing legal immigration paths or force families to stay separated longer, impacting mental health and social cohesion. For those already in the application process, what should you do? The first step is to check your case status online and stay in close contact with your immigration lawyer or representative. Make sure all your paperwork is up to date and be prepared for longer waiting times. Unfortunately, this freeze means that timelines are less predictable and flexibility will be key. If you haven't started your application yet but are considering applying for a family-based green card, it might be worth consulting an immigration attorney to discuss your options. Some families might be able to explore alternative visa categories or adjust their plans in light of the freeze. Politically, this move is part of a broader hardline immigration stance associated with Trump's policies. It's designed to appeal to voters concerned about immigration levels but is likely to face strong opposition from immigrant advocacy groups, human rights organizations, and many lawmakers who argue that family reunification is essential to American values. Looking ahead, it's unclear how long this freeze will last. Some speculate it could be temporary, intended to manage backlogs and administrative burdens. Others fear it might be a permanent shift, signaling a much tougher immigration environment for family-sponsored applicants. Regardless, if you're impacted, staying informed is critical. Keep an eye on official announcements from USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security, and consider reaching out to community organizations that offer support and legal advice. To sum up, today's announcement that Trump is freezing green card family visa processing is a game-changer for thousands of families hoping to reunite in the United States. The freeze affects many categories of family-sponsored immigrants, causing delays and uncertainty that could last months or even years. It's a move aimed at restricting immigration, but one that raises serious humanitarian and practical concerns. If you or your loved ones are caught in this freeze, now is the time to stay vigilant, seek legal counsel, and prepare for a potentially long wait. We'll keep monitoring this situation and bring you updates as they happen, so you never miss a critical development. This story is evolving rapidly, and for millions of families, the hope of reunion now depends on how this policy unfolds in the coming months. Stay tuned for more insights and actionable advice on this breaking immigration news.